So I recently bought this new pen to help me move around. You guys want to see? Transporter room. One to beam to the kitchen, please. I'm gonna like this. Ooh, grapes. Where are my pants? Welcome back to Film Tricks with Daryn. My name's Daryn, and I'm going to be teaching you some fun filmmaking tricks, tips, and how-tos with a sprinkle of my own flair. Now today is teleportation! Now, this effect is shockingly easy to film, and the edit can be just as easy or harder depending on what you want to do. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, but I think I hear action. Main things you need: locations and a person. The camera I'm using is my phone, being held by a Joby GorillaPod while I'm running an app on my phone called Filmic Pro, which will allow me to have better control of how my footage looks. Coming to lights, I'm using two lights this time. Both of them are coming in from the side. It's super important to light your subjects and the room. Even if you don't have big lights, using a small LED light like this is very workable. Also, using the lights in the room, like sunlight coming in through the window, can work in your favor. Last is always sound. I'm using my wireless mic to record my audio because the mic on the camera is far away and not great. Now let's talk about that shockingly easy filming. While I am shooting from two different angles in each room, you don't have to do this at all. Big thing though, I'm filming this from the same angle twice. Once with me there acting, and the next shot with me not there. This is called a background plate. Background plates are a type of compositing, which is combining foreground and background elements into a single shot. With all of our shots gathered, we can go into editing. I'm using Final Cut Pro X, but you can pretty much take these editing tricks and use them on almost any editing software. We are going to bring our clips and bring it into the timeline, the one with me acting and the background plate that goes with it. I'm then going to place the background clip on top of my acting clip and trim it down to around where I want to disappear. Now with the background plate on top of my clip, I completely disappear, and that might be what you want, but I want to have myself fade out. So to do that, I'm going to go over to the inspector. The inspector is where we can change settings and effects inside of the clip that's highlighted, and we are going to go over to the opacity. The opacity is the setting that relates to how much you can see through a clip. 0% is invisible and 100% is completely solid. I'm going to change the opacity to 0%, place my playhead at the beginning of the background clip. Right beside the percentage, I'm going to click on this little diamond with a plus sign. I'm going to click that button once. This is a keyframe button. Keyframes lock in values at a particular point, and when we have keyframe points with different values, it creates a transition. The keyframe starts wherever our playhead is, and since we already hit the button, we can move on and fade me out. I'm going to skim my playhead to near the end of the clip and change the opacity to 100. And now I look like I'm fading out. You could totally be done here and just add a cool sound effect, but I want to do something a little more sci-fi looking. I'm going to go over and open generators. Generators are video elements that come with the editing software. But if you don't have generators or anything similar, you can always find something online to use instead. I'm going to grab 3 different video elements. Let's start with color blobs. I'm going to grab the color blob and place it on top of the video in the timeline. I want the effect to start right before I start to fade away and end after I disappear. With color blob highlighted, I'm going to go into the inspector and go to blend mode. Blend mode is how Final Cut interprets color and light. By changing the mode from normal to something else, you can get really interesting looks. For this, we're going to choose add as our blend mode, which gives us a cool pastel color. Now I want to crop in the sides of the video to make it look more like a beam that covers my body but not the room. You can either do this in the inspector or by clicking this button here and selecting crop, then grabbing the blue corner of the video and pulling it in. With that done, let's go on to the next generator, drifting. I'm going to do the same thing with the placement and changing the blend mode as I did before, but this video has effects inside of it that I want to change. On top of the inspector, there's this number 2 instead of a box, which will take us to different attributes and effects that we can change inside the video, like change shape, number, the scale, speed, and pattern. I'm going to change the shape to sparks and have as many sparks around my body as possible. With that done, I want to do something a little special. I'm going to go into the effects folder and take out a draw mask. The draw mask mask will allow me to cut out any shape I want with it. I'm going to place it on the drifting video, and it will change my mouse to a pen that will allow me to draw a shape around my body. Once I connect all the lines and dots together, it will have cut out a shape around my body that only the sparks will now be in, versus being around the whole video or just inside of the beam itself if we had used crop. In the inspector, I'm going to also play with the feather of the draw mask, which will blend out any of the harsh lines of me cutting. Last is the underwater generator. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the color blobs. Here too, you could call it a day and be done, but I wanted to make it feel more like a tractor beam that's moving up and down. To do that, I'm going to highlight all three of the clips, color blobs, drifting, and the underwater, and change them into one compound clip. Compound clips are when you take 2 or more video files and literally make them into one clip. I'm going to give it a quick name because it's a new file. Uh-oh, it has this radically new look though, but no worries. It just changed the blend mode back to normal on all 3 of the clips. We'll just go back in the inspector, click on the drop-down menu in blend mode, and change it back to add. I'm going to go into my effects folder and select graduated mask. This mask is a gradient from fully transparent on the bottom of the screen to fully opaque on the top of the screen. These little pucks on the screen help place the mask anywhere that I want. I'm going to make the video smaller so I can see off the edge of the frame. With that done, I'm going to grab the top puck of the mask and drag it all the way to the top of the video until it's out of frame. I'm then going to go into the inspector, hit the keyframe diamonds. With the keyframe set, I'm then going to move my playhead forward a couple seconds, then grab the puck of the mask again and drag it all the way down of the screen. If we play it back, we can now see that the mask is moving over those couple of seconds for the beam to engulf my body. Add in a sci-fi sound effect and enjoy your cool transporter beam. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something cool. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I was just playing around with the effects inside Final Cut, having a ball. So remember, when you do your own video, you can use one of the effects or all of them. And I hope to see you next time. And remember, everyone, keep filming.